Everybody, today's Thursday, September 27th. It's 2018. This is MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. I am Goes. That's Dan. In New York, Danny Okers.
Me.
Danny and I are both in bad moods. I think Dan's in a good mood. And
good mood means nothing to us, Dan.
Yeah. So we are gonna be. I'm gonna be out of my fucking mind today, people. I'll tell you that right now. I'm furious. It's not a good day for me, but I'm here.
I want to hear why you're furious. I understand you said you were going to wait and tell everyone, but I have not heard yet. This is one of the few times where I'm going to
close my laptop, Danny, so we can just communicate through Facebook, but I think I may have to switch over to the other mic. Hey. I will be right back, though. Danny, you take over the pre-show for a second.
Yeah. So, Dan, you're in a good mood today?
That's Dan.
No? Alright. Nobody's there. Guys, by the way, I'd like to take this little second before we get to Junkie. We are starting in about 40 seconds. I just wanted to say that if you guys are interested, I do have my own TV show. It's on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Tonight's on at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I will be posting the link in the MMA Combat Chat right before the show. Alright, guys, we're coming up in 30. I think we're getting Alex Davis right now. You can see. Good morning, Kate. This is the first time I've actually been able to say good morning, Kate, actually, over the headset. Alright, guys, we're coming up. Stand by.
It has anything gorgeous. I don't see anything gorgeous.
Ask my mom, she'll be here right now.
He's a gorgeous person. Spiritually, not physically.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long.
Nice win for the Cowboys. Yeah, that was quick work.
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and Sirius XM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Race and Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our ace co-host. To his far left, it's the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Back east producing, Danny Otto. You'll hear his voice from time to time. Say something, Danny.
That's me.
There he is, back in New York. And then sitting to my right, check it out, we have our distinguished guest here, Renato Moicano, UFC featherweight, and some guy named Alex Davis there at the end that keeps telling me I'm not gorgeous. I should just be George, not Gorgeous George. Mom, can you believe that? He wants to take away my nickname. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Thank you. Very good, man.
All right. Just landed from Brazil.
No, actually, no. We got to go. I got home from São Paulo on Monday, and then I came out here to be with you, Gorgeous.
Right. So when did you get here? Today?
No, he just got here.
He just got here.
I got here last night. I can't do those
overnights.
Red eyes, and yeah, it just kills me.
So when you picked up Renato, he's probably thinking swimming pool, casinos, gentleman's club. I don't know. Is he married? Are you married?
Yeah, he's married.
Oh, maybe not the gentleman's club. Buffet, the beach or something, the Mandalay Bay beach, and instead you go, I'm going to take you to a radio show. What was his reaction?
Well, he's here to work.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's here to work.
You like media? You like doing media?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I not good because I'm learning English yet, but I want to try.
Let's have you push up your mic just a little bit. There you go.
He has good English.
Yeah, his English.
Everybody see.
I mean, we talked a little bit before the show, and looks like you've been practicing.
Yeah.
Do you have a teacher, or you watch TV, or do you learn in school?
My wife teach me. She speak English very well, and I try to learn, but it's difficult. And I try to see movies and that stuff in English to learn.
What kind of movies?
Like Netflix.
Netflix.
You know, like
Narcos.
Yeah, Narcos and other.
Not in Spanish though.
Ozark. You watch Ozark?
No.
All right. No. Documentaries.
Like documentaries too.
Can you recommend me one? A documentary?
I saw like I think it's Mind Hunter.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I heard it's
What's
really
it about, Renato?
It's about a serial killers in
I'm interested.
stuff.
Okay.
But I think it's cool.
Yeah,
it's good.
All right.
I got two for you.
You do?
Yeah. First Contact and Most Unknown. Check those out.
Those are documentaries on Netflix or series?
Is First Contact, is that about extraterrestrials?
No, it's about terrestrials. It's about Brazilian Indians. They actually document the first contact between a Brazilian Indian tribe and our civilization.
And what was the second one about?
It's Most Unknown. It's about science. It's 9 scientists, one meeting the other, all of them PhDs in their fields. It's extremely interesting.
I love that. You know what the best way to learn English is? Listen to MMA Junkie Radio.
That's true. We're talking a lot of MMA, and we're daily, Monday through Friday.
Nice. I will try.
And you can hear the expert opinions on the sport, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Renato. Well, just 1 second, Renato. Congratulations to Cowboy, by the way.
Thank you.
Great win on Saturday. I know that's one of your other guys. Renato's one of you guys. Thiago Santos is another one of your guys.
I mean,
big night for Alex Davis.
It was. I love Eric. Eric was born 5 miles away from where my dad was born. I really like him, but like he said, it's business. It was Eric took the fight in very short notice. He's a stud. And it was a great fight. And Cowboy, man, I wait till the day we get him here. I'll have to translate for him. Everybody's going to laugh even so because he has 3 children with 3 different women on the same street.
On the same street?
Cowboy Oliveira?
Yeah, he has 7 kids.
Wow.
He understands English, right? He just doesn't speak. Because
No, he does not. He understands you're talking to him, and
because he's always smiling and he seems like he gets it.
Telepathic. He just sees your smile and sees you saying something nice.
So 3 women on the same street. Wow. Okay.
Pretty gangster.
That it? Like
it comes from
everyone gets along.
You got to understand that this, the guys that I manage, like Renato comes from Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil, and Cowboy Thiago Marreta comes from the city of God, and Cowboy comes from a little place called Três Rios. It's 3 rivers, and he used to be a bull rider and a cowhand there. And
that's south of Brazil, right?
No, it's in the interior of Rio de Janeiro.
Where Cowboy's from?
Yeah, very interior of Rio. In another life, I used to race motocross. I get to go there. It's very. It's hard to explain from where we are now his reality over there.
Wow.
When you've met so many fighters, and especially some that come from Brazil, everybody has their own hobbies, their backstories. Are they always somewhat similar, or are they just completely different?
Completely different.
Yeah.
Lineker, when I started handling him, he had 2 hobbies. One was combat roosters, and the other he'd go out in the swamp and catch crabs to eat. And his wife kind of took those hobbies away from him.
What was the second one?
He would go. He lives in a place in southern Brazil, which there's a lot of swamps, and he'd go out into the swamps to catch crabs.
Crabs. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. All right. And now she no longer wants that one.
No, he doesn't do those things anymore.
All right. So and I know Thiago
here in Vegas.
Yeah.
I thought you guys texted me the other day. We got crabs.
Thiago Santos is Elite Forces.
He was
he was.
Brazilian Special Forces.
Yeah.
He comes from the City of God, which everybody I think knows.
Cidade de Deus.
Cidade de Deus. It's one of the biggest slums in Brazil. It's one of the most violent right now at the moment.
And he came out of there and actually became somebody who helped pacify or protect.
Well, I wouldn't say that. He's a leader and a
well, that one experienced pacification though, didn't it? Prior to the Olympics.
No, pacification, man.
Hey, it was a documentary I saw.
Yeah, sure. There's gun battles there that when it happens, the highways around the slum, you can't even pass through them.
I remember reading before it was either the Olympics or the World Cup, and there was some that experienced pacification. That one was there and it only stood out only because there was a movie attached to it.
Gorgeous. There's nothing pacified in Rio. There was 10 gun battles the other day, and there were only 2 injuries by stray bullets. Thank God these guys shoot very badly.
Okay. All right. Renato, how about you? What is it that we don't know about you? Do you have any special hobbies or anything you did growing up that would surprise us?
I grew up always training, like study and training. My hobby is watch fights. All I do is about become a champion, you know. So when I'm rest, I'm thinking in all the training. My wife, she's a fighter too, so we always like trying to improve the game, you know, watching my fights, all the fights, and always studying. So
did you play any other sports?
No.
No soccer?
Fight. No soccer.
Motorcycles?
Você não gosta de futebol?
No, only fight.
You like watching football?
No too.
You don't even have a favorite team?
No.
All right, we're going to get something.
Wait a minute. Botafogo, Flamengo, nothing? Sao Paulo, Palmeiras?
My family cheers for Corinthians.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so, but I don't...
But if Alex goes, what's it called? Copa Libertadores, final. Él tem 2 ingressos. Vamos, Corinthians contra Boca Juniors, Argentina.
See,
você vai? Or no, I want to study film. I want to watch MMA.
No, yes, because I like all the sports.
Yeah.
Because I think sports is in Brazil is a way to get out of trouble. You know, get out of bad life. So I like all this sport. But what I really love is MMA. You know. To watch and work.
But you did say Rio de Janeiro a second ago, right?
No.
You didn't say Rio de Janeiro?
That was me.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're from you're a Paulista?
No, Brasilia.
Brasilia, that's right. That's what you said. How did you like Corinthians? Isn't that a Paulista team?
Yeah, but Brasilia is like a new city. Have I think 50 years, 50 anos.
Yeah,
it's the modern city they call it, right?
Yeah. It was a planned city actually.
Oh, interesting.
So we don't have a real team in there. We have like a Gama and Brasiliense, but it's a small team in small division. So all the people in Brasilia cheer for all the team, like Flamengo or São Paulo, the big teams in Brazil.
How about surfing? You like surfing?
I like, but I try, but I can't. It's too difficult. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Do you ever do that type of stuff, Alex?
I grew up in the mountains. I loved surfing, but I could never stay long enough near a board in the beach where I could learn. So I'm a really good swimmer and a good body surfer. I went to motocross and I raced motocross professionally in Brazil for a while because I love those sports. I love them.
Arona loves swimming or surfing.
Yeah,
right?
I used to the beach where he goes to is where he lives is one of the most beautiful beaches.
Niterói?
No, it's called Itacoatiara, Niterói. It's beautiful. And the seas are awesome. I mean, the waves there are awesome.
Is he still living off some money that he made through Abu Dhabi, or is that just
I don't know exactly. He lives in a mansion. It's like
really?
It's paradise there, you know. But I hear friends of mine that tell me about him. I've met him over the years a few times, but he's kind of, you know, in his own world, I guess.
For those that are listening and may not be familiar, Ricardo Arona, along with Rogério Nogueira, Mauricio Shogun Rua, Vanderlei Silva, Alistair Overeem, I mean, all these guys were top 205ers. Remember the other day I called it middleweight division? They called it the middleweight division of Pride, and these were top 205ers. And when Vanderlei went on a 4-year run, almost 20 fights, no losses, a couple draws, but no losses, the guy that finally gave him his loss was Ricardo Arona. He could speak English. He had some exciting fights. He had some great leg kicks. He was also the one that got slammed by Quentin Rampage Jackson. So, you know, he experienced some losses, and every hardcore fan wanted Arona to come over to the UFC when Hua came over to fight Liddell and Couture, you know, and Tito Ortiz, and to bring all the best 205ers in the world, and it just never happened. That's the one that kind of got away, kind of like Fedor Emelianenko and a few others that just never made it to the UFC. There's a little history lesson.
I have some insight on that.
Let's hear it.
So
Is that why you were raising your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
At a certain time there, I was helping Brazilian Top Team, and Arona was there. And I tried to get him into the UFC, and I asked Joe, and Joe didn't want to hire him. Said that the way he fought wasn't exciting. He didn't really like him.
Oh man,
and
he has
so,
a good look.
But see, what'd you tell him?
I mean, I couldn't argue with him because the truth is that the way Arona fights is he takes people down and mauls them. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Usually he'd be him picking guys down and staying on top of them.
But
Joe didn't appreciate that kind of stuff.
At that time, I don't know that they were so married to the term sports entertainment. And think about, they had Tito Ortiz. You know, was he really the most exciting fighter? He kind of had the same recipe. So when I used to hear things like that from Joe Silva, I used to go, hold on a second. You know, you got this guy, you got that guy. I remember there was a guy, who was it? It was a young guy, a prospect that everybody wanted the UFC to get. And his response through some channels where you don't learn on the UFC, you know what I mean? Like, you have to go out and be better somewhere and then come to the UFC. And they had just signed Phil Davis, who was 4-0. You know, and I was like, he's learning on the UFC. I mean, how much experience can he have? Now, not to take anything away from him because he's a Division I champion or whatever, but still, it was something that was like a parallel to that. Yeah. So that's the problem is with those comments is there's always something in the history that tells us otherwise.
Yeah,
and I just think he would have been a quality 205er.
Each person sees fights in a different way, I guess, you know, and then Joe had his way of seeing things, and it was successful, but in this instance, I'm telling you that I tried to get out on him, and he was not interested in him.
Fitch was another guy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's like, you know, whatever. All right, that's 10 years ago. Sorry, Renato Moicano.
No
you know these names? Ricardo Rona? You know all? Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Ricardo Rona is a legend in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
All the people like to remember his fights, but he is not so old. I think maybe he can come back, but I don't know. Maybe he's doing good. I think has a sponsorship like the people from surfing, something like that. I don't know, but I really want to see him in UFC. I think he is doing good.
So the one thing that I said, and then I'll get to goes here. We had heard that Ricardo at the same time he had a successful run in submission grappling, and I think he won in Abu Dhabi, and somehow he had a relationship with one of the princes, a sheik or somebody who rewarded him with either a contract for life or a lump sum of money, and therefore I guess it wasn't like the end of the world if he didn't come to the UFC. It was like, okay, I got my money, I love to surf, I love to do jiu-jitsu. So I didn't know if that was any truth to that.
He's a middle class kid.
Yeah,
he wasn't poor
in a mansion though.
Yeah, I mean he lives in a very, very prominent place. He's not. I don't know exactly his financial situation, but I would assume that he's not a poor guy.
Can you help us get him on the show one day?
Yeah, I can try.
That didn't sound too confident.
He's very shy and very spiritual and very, you know, he's in his own world. You know, I think. I was at his last fight. It was in Bitech Combat in Rio.
I think you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Where Jeff Munson
2009.
fought Pedro Rizzo, and he fought...
You're right.
Who did he fight?
Bitech and Maracanazinho.
That's right. That was his last fight.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, that was the arena, because it was little Maracanã.
I think he fight with a guy with Vitor Belfort.
Let's look it up.
Beat in UFC.
I know Alex Schoenauer was on the card.
No, it wasn't Schoenauer.
Wasn't Schoenauer?
What was the guy that's a correctional that Vitor cut him up? Remember his head? Marvin Eastman, wasn't it?
That's the guy.
Yeah.
It was Marvin Eastman that he fought. That's it.
All right, I have a question for both of you guys. Here in the United States, mixed martial arts has been going so long now, and we have so many new fans, that guys like Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, these new people, they don't know much about them because they didn't grow up with those people. That's more George and I, our era. In Brazil, is that happening as well, where guys like, say, the legends of Royce Gracie, Rickson Gracie, Marco Ruas. Are there a new generation of Brazilian people that don't really know too much about that, but they're more familiar with Anderson Silva and Jose Aldo, those type of people? Has that happened over there the way it's happened over here?
I think yes, because we have a television in Brazil called Globo. So every sport who plays in Globo becomes like a national sport. So when MMA and when UFC came to Globo, the people know MMA more, but don't know the roots of MMA, like you say, Royce. So they know Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, these big names, but they don't know these old fighters.
What happens with you when you come across some of these older fighters and you get to speak to them? Can you maybe share a conversation you had with someone like that?
I met Vitor Belfort one time. My coach was a coach of him in the past, and he's a very good guy. Tell me to always train that stuff, but I really don't have so much contact with these fighters, because after I came to USA, I train in Brasilia in a small gym. I have my own gym, so we don't have so many fighters, so we don't travel a lot. I train in Brasilia and come here to USA, but now I'm American Top Team, and eu tô conhecendo os lutadores.
I'm meeting more of the names of the name fighters.
Tipo, o Cigano, a Joanna Jedrzejczyk, Dustin Poirier, e agora eu tô começando a treinar.
Let's speak English, man.
É porque eu esqueci.
Okay, he's saying that, but you're going to keep on in English. You hear me? I'm not going to translate for you. Okay, he's saying so Joanna and Dustin, and he's starting to. But the truth is that he comes from a very prominent camp where Honey Yaira comes from, where Massaranduba comes from, where Adriano Moraes, that's a 1FC
champion,
flyweight champ.
Yeah.
Right,
His camp.
Paulo Thiago too.
Yeah, Paulo Thiago. So his master Ataíde is also a very, very high level jiu-jitsu master in Brazil. But not the big names. And I think that Brazil remembers more the Murilo Bustamante and Marco Ruas and people like that. I mean, Murilo Bustamante, nobody talks. That was one of the most intelligent fighters ever step into a ring, And yeah, it's true. Here in the States, we don't remember these guys, but in Brazil, I think we remember more of them.
Check this out, guys.
So I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Is he like a father, an uncle, a big brother? What's your relationship with Alex?
Alex is a big friend.
Yeah.
He's a big friend. He's my manager, but he helped me to take decision, to pick the fight, to when I try to talk to get a fight or something like that. Alex always try to do the best, So he's a big friend.
Always agree, or sometimes no,
Oh, I think he always agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes
he's not good enough to disagree with me.
Well, he's not good enough. He's 13-1-1. Yeah. No, you're doing great, man. You're doing great as a featherweight, and I know that Ortega and Holloway looks likely, but you're right on the cusp. You're next. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really believe in that. I believe I'm born to be a champion, to be a UFC champion, and I want to use that to change lives in Brazil, to inspire people. And now, when I come to train USA and train with these big names, I'm more confident, and I know I'm the best featherweight. For sure. I know I lost for Ortega, but
you were doing good in that fight, man.
Yeah.
You were doing good in that fight. I was there in Anaheim, California.
Yeah.
So even though you're right, he did get his hand raised, I thought you had a very good showing for yourself. And then you come back since then, and you've won a couple times. So, like I say, I think you're a phenomenal featherweight. When Alex told me you were coming to the studio, I was really, really happy because there's just a new generation of great fighters. We can talk about some of these old ones from time to time, but the fact is they've done their time, they're retired, and that's it. But you're that new wave. There's a new wave of Brazilian fighters. Paulo Costa, I think, is doing very well. You know, you're doing very well. Cowboy had a great fight the other night. Santos is starting to maybe explore 205, and he's also a middleweight contender. You know, Lineker's got awesome hands. So, you know, I really like the new wave. But just to finish something out, again, the thing with the comment about Joe Silva, check out all the guys Arona beat, by the way. Jeremy Horn is a respectable win. Beat him twice. Gustavo Machado. Who else is guy? Guy Metzger. Dan Henderson. Ninja Hua. Morilla Hua. Dean Lister is still a credible win. Kazushi Sakuraba. Vanderlei Silva. Alistair Overeem. Even Marvin Eastman made it to the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, those are some solid wins. Like, I just don't. You have to give that guy a chance. I mean, if you want the best fighters in the UFC, which is what Alex was trying to accomplish by getting him there, he deserves 3 fights. If he goes 2-1 and maybe he's boring and you get him off the loss and you cut him, whatever. But I think the fans deserve it when you're promoting the best fans. And I thought that was one that and Fedor Emelianenko and a few others. You know, I mean, Cyborg took forever to get to the UFC, and she needed to be a UFC
Yeah, but those
fighter.
are different situations. Fedor didn't come because of Vadim. I'm just telling you my experience with Joe. But, you know, also with Joe, I knew when and even today, but more so in Joe Silva's day, I could have a fighter, he could be cross-eyed and one leg and everything, but if he fought well, he'd end up in the UFC. You know, and I don't know, but everybody has their opinions. Joe was very opinionated about fighters.
He made it to the Pride Grand Prix final that Shogo won, by the way. And along the way, that's when he ended Vanderlei's streak of not losing because he had the couple draws. He also made it to that rings tournament that gets talked about that included Dan and Nogueira.
I was at the first one.
In Japan?
I met Alistair when Alistair was still a skinny little teenager. That was when Rodrigo fought Dan Henderson. And I love Dan, but that was the worst decision in MMA history to this day. Rodrigo Nogueira versus Dan Henderson.
Really?
Yeah, just watch the fight. Don't quote me. Watch the fight.
Even worse than Rico Nogueira?
Yeah, Rico Nogueira is pretty bad too.
No, it was way worse.
Okay.
Really?
No, listen, Rodrigo mounted him, swept him.
I know, I'm just joking.
It's crazy.
I mean, they're all questionable. And one last thing here. I'm not a cheerleader for Ricardo Arona, but we never talk about him. Here's his submission grappling record. Here's who he beat in submission grappling: Tito Ortiz, Jeff Monson, Renato Sobral. You guys remember Jean-Olav Enemo?
Yeah.
Who made it to UFC, and everybody talked about what a great grappler he was. Same thing, Ricardo Almeida, Saulo Ribeiro, Vitor Belfort, Jean-Jacques Machado, and Mark Kerr. He was 13-0 in submission grappling. He was the Abu Dhabi champion in 2000, and in 2001 he was the absolute champion as well. How the fuck do you not have him in the UFC just for a couple fights?
At the time,
and he spoke English. And he spoke English.
At the time, Chuck Liddell was the king of the hill, right? And this is a guy who would take people down and could maybe give that threat to Chuck Liddell.
But he also knocked out.
But you could say he has a victory over Jeremy Horn, who was a guy who had a victory over Chuck Liddell. Like, it was easy to sell. I don't know. Maybe they're protecting Chuck. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who remembers Chuck Liddell versus Murilo Bustamante?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And
wait, that was in Brazil, though, wasn't it?
No, it was here.
Was it here?
Murilo won that fight.
I'll always remember Murillo for Mars Reality. Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
when he was butt scooting against Tom Erickson.
Tom Erickson.
And then Henzo and Oleg were on that card too.
Yeah.
And when Murillo submitted, what was his name? Matt Lindland.
Yeah.
Twice.
I'm thinking of Chuck down in Brazil, and I think it was Pele, and I think it was no glove, bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You remember all that?
He used to wear the black.
No, that's really early. That's late 90s, early 2000s.
I remember telling my friends that night, they go, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm watching Mars Reality fight," and they thought I was so
They thought you were
weird.
from Mars.
Yeah, they were like, "What is that? What are you doing?"
What was the first fight you remember?
The first fight I saw on TV.
Yeah, like as a little kid, where you just go, "Wow, okay," you know.
No, I don't watch fights in TV. When I was a kid, but I always practice martial arts. I started in judo with 5 years. So all my life I've been training, but I'm not an MMA fan, you know. I always when I start something, I try to do the best. So quando eu era adolescente, comecei a treinar jiu-jitsu.
When I was a teenager, I started doing jiu-jitsu.
Eu comecei
Eu
comecei a treinar.
Started training.
E aí eu me destacava nas competições de jiu-jitsu.
English, man. Come on.
And I Eu não tô conseguindo.
Yes, you can.
And
Your English is good.
It's
Yeah,
really
don't-
good.
it's-
but
it's
have
good.
some words I don't know
I'll
yet.
help you.
We'll figure it out. We'll understand.
In the competitions, I doing good, and
Uh-huh.
my coach say quando eu fiz 18,
When I was 18,
he say you have to fight MMA.
Oh, wow.
And no, I don't want only training jiu-jitsu, submission. No. If you want to stay in this gym, you have to fight.
Damn.
Wow.
And I know, and we have other fighters, and I feel like it's better I fight than I don't train anymore. And become training, and I fought and I win, and after second win, and I feel I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't really your decision.
No,
it was your coach's decision.
Yeah, this is my coach decision because all coaches I work always say to me when I start to train in boxing, they say you do this before, you do very very good in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. All coaches always say that, and to me it's very important keeping training. I really like to training, but at that time my coach said that to me, you have to fight to continue here, because I think he saw my potential and say he don't want, but ele deve.
he should.
Yeah.
Ele deve. Então, so he pushed me to fight, and in the end, I really like it, and now it's what I love. I
But
think
you don't remember your first fight that you saw on TV or the internet or nothing?
in the TV. The first fight I saw was UFC 95.
What was that one, guys? Do you know, Tim?
When
UFC 95.
I saw, because it's the
Who the
first
hell
time a UFC, a guy from my gym go to the UFC, was Paulo Thiago. He knocked out Koscheck.
Oh,
I think
Josh
he's
Koscheck, yeah.
That's right. That's where he
uppercut.
started
And he
his
beat
run.
Fitch too.
Nobody expected that one,
Yeah.
remember?
He beat Fitch too, right?
Yeah,
He's
no. He
No.
lost to Fitch.
He lost.
Yeah,
he beat
that
Swick?
was
Swick.
Wait, two AKA guys.
Yeah.
I
my
think
He
team.
was the Bope guy, right?
Yeah,
Bope.
yeah.
All
the
right.
Fitch fight. I think was UFC 100, and that was the one where they ran out of time and had to do it at the end.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I watched this UFC 95 because all the gym go to watch,
Right.
Oh.
and the UFC
Faz
como é que é
isso.
100? 100?
Yeah, UFC 100.
After the UFC 100, I watch all the UFCs until now.
The main
Almost.
event was Diego Sanchez and Joe Stevenson.
Yeah, I remember that fight. Diego won.
Yeah.
Joe Stevenson was in Sao Paulo. I had.
Yeah, he was in the corner of Sam Alvey, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the fight
All
that
right.
Joey passed out on the couch.
Was
up
it?
like 2 hours later?
Oh, wow. All right. We got to go to break. It's Renato Moicano in studio here with us, with Alex Davis as well. We're also going to talk to Megan Olivi from the UFC, who works for Fox, not just in MMA, as Goes noted in our highs and lows segment earlier this week. She also debuted as a sideline reporter for Fox Sports, obviously, but in the NFL. So how cool is that? So we want to talk to her about that experience, but the guys will stick around. We'll talk, and we'll see if we can find out what Alex Davis's first fight was. I have a feeling it was Gracie versus Kimura, or maybe Santana versus the other
first UFC
Gracie.
I went to was UFC 19. I saw Pat Miletich versus André Pederneiras.
Wow.
Baz Rutten versus Kevin Randleman.
Oh, okay.
Who remembers that fight?
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. All right. We'll be right back after this break. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Fight Nation, Channel 93.
of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tax. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Get the radio channel numbers and a link to listen to your favorite NFL, college football, or Major League Baseball team sent right to your smart device. Just go to SiriusXM.com/sports today and click Add to My Calendar. All right, we're expecting a call from Megan Olivi in just a sec, along with Fox Sports. But in the meantime, let's continue here with Alex Davis and Renato Moicano. By the way, Moicano's coming off a win at UFC 227 over Cub Swanson. He has not gotten his next fight booking, although we have heard rumors of maybe him wanting to take the Aldo fight. Maybe Aldo doesn't want to take it. I don't know. You had something on your mind, Gus.
Yeah, I want to give the two gentlemen homework. Okay, I think the nicknames in Brazil are really cool. You know, Shoeface. George and I, can you guys come up with a Brazilian type nickname for us? My name is Goes, but if you make me Gozinho, that's not good, right? So we need something else. What can you think of? Can you guys think of something by the end of the show? A cool Brazilian nickname for us to have?
I will try.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
I will manage.
I know. I saw the look on your face. It was already going through.
Hey, I take back that Kimura Gracie joke. All right. So while we await for this call to come in, tell me, you guys really want the Aldo fight, right?
yeah, I think now is the fight who does more sense because he's the 2 of the ranking and I'm 4, and Frankie Edgar has a fight. You know, I want to fight with the guys in the top of division. So he's Brazilian. We don't like to fight Brazilians, but it's my dream become a champion, and I know if I beat Aldo, the next step is for sure the belt.
Let me point out that we did ask for the Aldo fight, but it was all with a lot of respect. We love Aldo. Aldo's an idol of his. He watched his career was built watching Aldo, so there's no disrespect in that, you know.
Can I ask you guys a little bit something about the Brazilian culture? I know that a lot of Brazilians don't like to fight other Brazilians.
Not all, though.
Not all of them,
Yeah.
but a lot of them do. And does that have to do with the sport being so young and so many people interacting early? Do you think eventually that will kind of go away and it'll just be normal?
I think now it's changed because if you say that 2 years, 3 years ago, all the Brazilians will say a lot of things to you. You are like a traitor to trying to fight another.
Really? Luta Libre, Gracie, shoot box, Brazilian top team.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're all fighting each other.
Vitor and Anderson, Vitor and Vanderlei.
But look, Vitor won that fight with Anderson, and in the time, the people say a lot of things about Vitor, about he's all care about money. You know, he don't respect. The Brazilians have that thing, but what you have to know is, the guy is Brazilian, the guy is a legend, but if you want to be a legend, you have to beat a legend. You have to put yourself on the place to challenge for the belt. So now I think the things the people can see more clearly.
Yeah,
clearly. That's right.
Right.
Clearly and can see it is a sport. So if I fight to Jose Aldo, maybe I can do more money, maybe I more name, you know, and I'm this to the people know me, to the people see me in money too, you know. So it's not a bad thing. I try to fight big names. I think it's that.
And I think that Aldo should give him a chance too. You know, Aldo just coming off. It's not like it's an easy fight for any of the two men. If Aldo wants to move forward and he wants to go again for the title, let him beat Moicano, and the same thing for Moicano. I don't understand why Aldo's not taking the fight. You know, I mean, it's not.
I think his think maybe the fight with Max and Brian had a problem, and he can step up. Yeah.
No.
But I don't.
I know some Brazilians won't fight other Brazilians, but it's happened in the past. I think it should continue to happen. If two highly ranked Brazilians are set to fight and everyone else is booked up and it makes sense, it just has to happen. Two other ones in history, Hickson Hickson versus
Hugo
Duarte on the beaches, and I think Ismail versus Davis. I think I heard that one
Yeah,
back.
but that time.
All right, listen. Let me give you a quick timeout. Okay. We'll give it right back to you, Renato. Hang on one second.
Your nickname's going to be so messed up.
We have our friend Megan Olivi on the line. Here last week, there was the Giants versus the Houston Texans. This week, she'll be working the Browns versus the Raiders. Megan Olivi, welcome to the NFL. Congratulations. Great job there. How was an NFL game compared to an MMA fight night?
Hey, guys. It was actually pretty similar.
Was it really?
It was, the only thing different is in terms of, my placement is that I'm, just running back and forth between the two sidelines. But it's pretty similar. I mean, it's what I do now is watch the action and then ask the questions afterwards, in terms of what happened. So, it was obviously a very different sport and a different sort of venue, but same sort of job description, which is also, update people if there's an injury or something, and so I got to do that and then just watch the action and interview players afterwards.
What kind of stuff do you hear on the sidelines? Like, I can only imagine that the smack talk must get amped up pretty well, especially like after a hard hit or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, KJ Watt was pretty fired up. He had 3 sacks, so he was enjoying the day until they lost, obviously. So just a lot of yelling. But I noticed, when the teams weren't doing well, it was more like they're just quiet, kind of sitting there with their heads down, watching tape. But yeah, I mean, they're certainly amped up, very excitable. So it made it fun.
That's cool. Megan Olivi, our guest here on the hotline, her along with Karen Bryant, both of them, now manning the NFL sidelines. That doesn't mean that she's leaving MMA. She is doing both, but we're extremely proud, myself and Dan, of seeing this happen, Megan. We've seen you work baseball. I know you know your way around the wrestling wrestling mats, and of course in MMA. But NFL is pretty damn huge in our country. All right, what do you have for Megan Olivi?
Megan, for us, all of this seemed to just happen almost overnight. For you, can you kind of give us a little bit of a timeline of when these talks started and then when you officially found out?
Yeah, so I was actually kind of asked in the spring if it was something that would interest me. And I said, yeah, of course. But, I am a UFC employee, so it's always important to me that, I let people know that and that I whatever extra assignments are offered towards me, that I, talk it over with Dana and make sure he's okay with it. So they had kind of, thrown the idea my way in the spring, and I said, yeah, it's definitely something I would be interested in. And then in the middle of the summer, they said, hey, we're not sure. We're looking at schedules. We're going to see if we can make something work. And then they just randomly called me. I was actually leaving the UFC office a couple of weeks ago, and they called me and they said, hey, we're finishing our first half schedule, because they do the first 8 weeks, then the second 8 weeks. They said, we're finishing the first 8 week schedule, and we'd like to offer you a couple of games. And so I said, it sounds great, but I want to make sure that I have, Dana's approval, and I want to be the first one to ask him. So the next day, I just kind of waited outside Dana's office and finally had the opportunity to talk to him, and he couldn't have been more supportive. So then I got to call them right back and say, yep, I can do those games. So it's been, it was kind of like a very fast-moving thing once the official offer came, but it had kind of been up in the air for, I'd say, several months.
Mm-hmm. And then, okay, when you prepare for a UFC card, I think like maybe 24 is probably a good number of the amount of fighters that you kind of have to do a little research on, know stuff about. NFL rosters are very big. And
53 deep.
There's
on each side.
Assistant coaches, head coaches. There's a lot that goes into it. How bad is the preparation? Because obviously you're not going to talk to every single player, but there are scenarios where you could be talking to different players. How bad was that research for that game?
Yeah, I mean, it's all research. I have the Raiders and the Browns this weekend. So between last weekend and this weekend, it's just hours of work. And, I think it's just like the UFC. Once you build kind of a baseline there, you can grow off of it. You're going to know some fighters better than others. You're going to hear more storylines than others. So I think, that's what the position I'm at right now is making sure that I'm aware of all the storylines, of all the players, of all the coordinators on the team, all the personnel. And like you said, you don't talk to everybody, but you certainly have an idea of who you're going to talk to before the game. And then, as the game's going on, you kind of see how people are playing, and then you want to make sure that, you're prepared as soon as that game ends for them to bring you that player on the field. So, you know, it is a lot, and it's, for me, you know, because it's not my, you know, weekly home, it's something that I'm taking even more seriously about over-preparing, but that's just sort of my personality, and I think, you know, the big stories kind of build themselves, and they're all over the sports news anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of in-depth work.
Give her a follow, folks, on Twitter at Megan Olivi. That's one of ours from the MMA world doing her thing in the NFL world. That's tremendous for your broadcasting career. And did I hear you say you're also doing college football in addition to NFL?
No, just NFL and MMA.
Oh, I thought I heard you say the Cleveland Browns this weekend, so that's just a joke.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Cleveland fans,
Listen,
thank you.
I'm excited for that one.
I know.
There's a lot of hype around Baker. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but if I wonder if you'll get any sort of a feel from the Raiders about, you know, their next chapter, which will be in a few years here in Las Vegas. I know you know that. You see the stadium getting bigger and bigger, but I wonder just when they actually start thinking that. Maybe a coach or a player gives you that answer or something, Megan. I'm kind of curious myself.
Yeah, I'm really curious as well. You know, I actually have spoken to quite a few people just about what they think about a team coming to Vegas and how it's going to impact the league. And, you know, everybody seems really positive about it. You know, everybody from former players to current players. You know, I think everybody likes the idea of it. I actually spoke to Richard Sherman about it, and he seemed really on board. I think people like to come to Vegas, you know what I mean? And it's close for those West Coast teams, and it's a destination for everybody. So I think people are excited. But I'd love to hear, right from the Raiders, what their expectations are to be here.
Mm-hmm. What kind of a role will you have for UFC 229, biggest fight card of the year, and it's right around the corner?
Oh man, yeah. Well, I just had a great sit-down interview with Conor McGregor that you'll see during fight week. So I'm certainly, you know, going to be right in the thick of it, like always. I'll be hosting the open workouts that will have Conor and Khabib, Tony and Anthony Pettis. And then I'll be your backstage correspondent for weigh-ins and fight night and everything in between. You know, it's really exciting. You know, obviously Khabib will come into town during fight week, and Conor's been here since the night after that UFC New York City press conference. So it's a really exciting time, and for me it's a really exciting event to be a part of. So I'm just thrilled that, you know, I get to kind of be in the thick of it all.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't wait. It's going to be huge. It's going to be tremendous. Biggest fight of the year. Trending to sell over 2 million pay-per-views. We're pretty stoked. And we got Renato Moicano here in studio here with us, one of the top featherweights. So we've already been talking about next week, Megan, and of course, you know, you've covered Renato and many of the other featherweights for many years. So we're already talking UFC 229 over here.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. Great seeing you on the sidelines. We look forward to your work. The Browns versus the Raiders this week. And, of course, I know that Fox Sports is coming strong next week. All their superstars will be in town for Fight Week. They'll be hosting from here, and we look forward to that as well. So I'm sure we'll see you around.
Yes, for sure. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Big shout-out to John Stauffer for making that happen. And John will be in town next week, too.
Tequila.
Yeah. Tequila. Take it easy. Yeah, but tequila.
Yeah. Well, he said it on the show.
He has. Yeah. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and then when we come back, more Renato Moicano. I want to see the Aldo fight. He made a lot of sense of it. And, of course, Alex Davis, who manages Thiago Santos, Renato Moicano, John Lineker. He's got some really, really great horses running. Alex Oliveira is another one, and they've been having a lot of success. So good times for Alex Davis, our good friend. All right, stay close. It's the MMA Junkie Radio Show on SiriusXM's Fight Nation Channel 93.
do what they say. Your life will be a lot better. Here are Gorgeous and Goes.
SiriusXM has your chance to win one of two amazing experiences. A trip to see Garth Brooks perform the first concert ever at Notre Dame Stadium. Plus, you'll get to meet Garth after the show. Or you can be there for the Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh game, including a stadium tour with locker room and field access. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Garth Notre Dame before October 1st. No additional purchase necessary to enter or to win. Let me get some predictions from you, Renato Moicano. Who do you think's gonna win, Khabib versus Conor?
I think Khabib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever bet on MMA fights?
No, I don't bet, but because in Brazil it's not legal.
See, right there is legal though.
Yeah, I never see something like that too big in people gambling. And I asked to Alex and he say is all days is like that. The people putting money in the spot, but I really like, but I'm not good at that.
You're not good at picking the winners?
No, never, because I always with the friends and family I say this guy will win and the other guy win. You understand? I'm not good at.
Okay, so then we should be betting McGregor if he thinks Khabib's gonna win, right?
Yeah.
We should be betting McGregor than the other side.
Yeah, but this is a fight will be difficult, but I think Khabib has more tools. I think because look, Conor when he fight with Mayweather, everybody know he can't won Mayweather in boxing, but I think Conor win. I have a feeling Conor win. Yeah, I think everybody think like that, but in the real, he can't beat Mayweather. I think Khabib is the same. Khabib is better in MMA than Conor, but como é o Conor?
Since it's Conor.
So, então você fica com aquela dúvida.
So you get that doubt.
Se fosse qualquer outro lutador, eu com certeza iria com as mesmas características, eu apostaria com certeza no Khabib, mas como é o Conor, a gente fica com aquela mesma coisa do McGregor.
If it was any other fighter, we wouldn't have a doubt, but since it's Conor, we know that what he could do, we get a doubt. Yeah.
Very, very true. And you know what I think about is if I were to bet the other way on Monday, if Khabib is on top of Conor beating him up, I would feel so stupid that I bet.
Hang on to that for just a second, guys. We are going to take a quick 1-minute break. It's only 1 minute, and then we'll continue here with Renato Moicano and Alex Davis. Very good song.
A little less conversation, a little more action, please.
Here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We're talking to Renato Moicano, one of the top featherweights in the world. And we're looking to see what his next fight might be. If not Jose Aldo, then who, Renato?
I want to fight with the como é que é os melhor ranqueado?
The best ranked fighters.
Maybe Chad Mendes, because ele tá atrás de mim.
He's behind you.
Yeah, or Frankie Edgar, you know.
Okay.
I want.
So you would wait for Frankie and Korean Zombie in November? You would wait?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not in any hurry to fight or nothing?
No. I'm not in hurry for fight, but I want to fight with big names, you know, because this is the fight make more sense for me. Maybe not for them, but for me.
Alex, wouldn't it make sense to get Renato on the Toronto card, where it's rumored that Max Holloway will defend against Brian Ortega? Thereby, it ensures the fan that another featherweight's ready to go in case there were some sort of a mishap with Holloway and you needed to go interim, or a mishap with Ortega and Max needed to defend. So Renato and another highly ranked featherweight would prepare, and if one of them has to step in, great. But you know, I don't like the role like that Kamaru Usman just had in Dallas, where it was just him, no opponent. You know, good for him. He got paid to make weight, and that was it. But Tyron didn't want to fight him anyway. You know, if Till had not made weight. I want a situation where there's a quality featherweight matchup and one of those guys is ready to step in just as insurance.
We are in agreement, but let me tell you something, though. It does not make sense to have Moicano train for another fighter, and then all of a sudden something happens, and let's say the other fighter is a wrestler, okay, and he's training for this wrestler, and all of a sudden, or Holloway or Ortega, and I like them both, and I hope nothing happens to them. But one of them, something does happen with him, and now Moicano, who's been training for a wrestler, now has to face in what would be the fight of his life without having been ready for it. Mm-hmm. So that's your answer. I don't think. Wouldn't
the champion be in the same spot? He was training for another guy. That guy fell out, but now he's got Moicano.
That is true. That is true. But that's his problem, not mine.
Right.
You know, I got to look.
But he doesn't just get a pat on the back if he wins. He gets the title. I mean, there's a little bit of risk, but there's a reward too.
No. But it's the biggest fight of his life. I like the idea.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea of him having to fight somebody else. I'd like them. The alternate fighter thing is a safety for the UFC. I think that how many times, if there was an alternate fighter there ready for that fight, it would have really helped the promotion. I think that's a good idea. In this case, I don't want Moicano.
Okay. So I understand and I respect that. Now, but let's say this. Renato Moicano's opponent may be ready to step up. He would still get paid because he gets to make weight. The opponent would step up. It's insurance for the card. But I know that it sounds like, oh, it happens all the time, because we get the feeling that it does. But so many fights actually do go off, and we don't have this problem. The percentage is probably lower than what we make it out to be. So that let's say that fight goes off, Holloway and Ortega, Moicano, and we'll say Aldo, whoever. It goes off, and we have 2 winners and 2 losers. Moicano wins his fight, and we'll just say Max keeps his title. You're in the same timeline. Hey, Max, when do you want to fight again? March, April, Hey, Renato, hey, that sounds about right for me too, because hopefully no one got injured or it's just minor stuff, and boom, the timeline stays the same. You know what I mean? I've always felt like that's another important thing to do, is for the contenders to fight close to or on the same fight card as the champion. And here's another thing. When they used to have the dais, now they just go one-on-one, but when they used to have the dais, sometimes the fighters would call each other out right then and there because it's the talk. The featherweight division is the talk, it's the focus, and sometimes the matchmaking just happens organically right then and there. So that's another reason I like it.
If it's Aldo, yeah, we'll do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I just don't want him to have to train for. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. He trains for a wrestler. Let's say, and there's plenty of wrestlers in his division, like a Chad Mendes, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't make sense for us. It's too big of a risk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I accept him to be the. I get the promotion standpoint, but I got to look out for my guy, and I'm not going to put him in a title fight when he trained for a three-round fight against a wrestler. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden
that's a good point.
Striker, I can't do that. Just is not happening in my. Aldo is similar, and Aldo is a fight that makes sense. And it's not plugging a hole, so that's a different scenario.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
But you say a good thing. I think what you say makes sense is fighting in the same card, because this is, like you say, happens organically. You win, the guy who champion win, and it's make more sense. I think you think you're right.
Mm-hmm. And Alex, I don't mean any disrespect, but do you agree with your manager's stance? You would also decline, or is that one of the times where you discuss, like,
No. What this guy say, I because he know how to handle a career, Mm-hmm. But I have my thoughts, but I Eu confio 100% no Alex.
I trust him 100%.
Yeah, there you go. Solid
Well,
backup
you know,
there.
this is a point that the fans don't see. This is a part of the game that fans don't feel. Oh well, okay, he fell off the car. Just put this other guy. But the people don't see the inside where people are training 3-4 months, studying a guy's game and everything, and how important all this background stuff is coming up to the day of the fight. You know, the fans look at the fight and they say, "Oh, just take this guy out and put him in here." But it's not that simple. There's been a lot of energy and a lot of planning and strategy put into getting this guy ready for one fight, and then it's not fair to go and
the sport's evolving and the game plans are more intricate. I understand that totally, but to go to bat for why the fans think that, it's because history has shown us that it's happened so many times, and it's been successful for the fighter that stepped up. It's also been unsuccessful, but that precedence has allowed us to feel like, oh, it should happen, or it can happen, or at least it should warrant consideration.
We are fighters. At the end of the day, Renato would do it. If you say, Renato, will you fight King Kong? He'll fight King Kong. It's his heart. He believes in himself. He'll go and do it. But there has to be somebody thinking here, and that's me. And so I have to try to – nobody ever looks at the risk, and I have to look at the risk. I have to assess the correct risk. So, yeah, I'd love him to be alternate to Aldo versus to Holloway versus Ortega, but if I can avoid him having to fight somebody else on that card, I will. Now I don't own the ball or the field, so that's just my position.
I do like your point about 5 rounds versus 3 last minute. Even though these guys are all in great condition, I think a lot of that's mental as well. So that's I mean, there's great points on both sides, and if we don't ask, we don't know.
Of course.
Mendes doesn't have an opponent. He's interested there. Volkanovski, he doesn't have an opponent. That would interest you, or yeah? Okay.
I never see this guy fighting. I know the people.
He's from Australia, that guy.
Yeah, the people saying he's too good. I will watch his fights.
Bektik, Magomed Sharapov. I don't think either one of those guys has fights.
Those are all good matchups.
The featherweights are killers.
Yeah.
All those guys are great. You know what I mean? Cub Swans and Jeremy Stevens. You already fought Cub Swans. I mean, there's just a long list of great fighters.
This is the ranking of UFC?
No, this is USA Today Sports.
Okay.
And MMAjunkie.
Okay.
But this is, if you notice, Pitbull, Bellator.
Yeah.
Harrison, PFL. So this is all of MMA. The UFC rankings is just UFC.
The UFC.
Yeah, so we do all of MMA.
That's a sore subject in the sport today. Who compiles those rankings?
I have a hand in it.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. We used to have everybody on staff used to have one division, and we would all. Mine used to be the featherweight division, and then one day we shifted most of it over.
Because what's happening with the UFC rankings that you're having journalists do it, and there are some journalists that are very knowledgeable and some that don't know what they're talking about, and it's misleading the ranking system. Yeah. There's people that are going up and down in the rankings without fighting. How could that happen?
That's the thing.
Crazy.
See, with our rankings, the one thing we've always said is if you don't like it, you can call in and talk to us, and we will tell you why that particular.
As long as there's a logic to it, ranking is a very important thing.
Do you like this?
I haven't looked
Max
at it yet.
number 1.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Ortega 2. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Aldo 3. Good.
Yeah.
Frankie Edgar 4.
Yeah.
Mendes 5. No.
Maybe not.
He doesn't like that one.
I don't like it either.
Renato Moicano.
Yeah, because
I know Mendes was gone for 2 years.
Yeah.
But he only lose to Edgar and Aldo.
But how could Aldo be above him when he comes from 2 losses?
But I only lose to Brian too.
Well, yeah, but
he has more fight.
He also beat a lot of guys. He also beat a lot of guys along the way too.
I don't argue Ortega there, but Aldo
good. It's not. I think he's not wrong. You can see that way too, because Shady is in the business for a long time. He's a very good fighter, but
ranking has to be based on results.
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, look.
It can't be because the guy's here for a long time, or it can't. It has to be above results. How could you put Aldo above him when he only has 1 loss in 13 fights, and Aldo lost 2 out of 3 in the last 3 fights? How could you have him above? It doesn't make sense.
It'd be the same reason why we had Robbie Lawler when he had like 8 or 10 losses or whatever, and there was guys that were chasing him that only had 2 or 3 losses. It's not always wins and losses either. It's what you've accomplished.
It has to be the last few fights.
Yeah, we put a strong emphasis on the last 36 months. I'll give you an example. The Cub Swanson win was a great win for him. Kelvin Cater also had a nice record when Renato beat him. And then before that was Jeremy Stevens. And then see these wins right here? 10-0-1. At that point, we weren't sure where you were. All right? You did have the first 2 wins, but when you beat Stevens, Renato starts to make a move. You know what I mean? Chad Mendes, though, he was at the top for a long time. It was always Aldo 1, Mendes 2, or whatever. And so he was gone for all those years. But look at all these wins that he had along the way. Elkins, Guida, Lentz when it mattered, Lamas when it mattered. Comes back and wins against Jury. So he was just gone for a long time. I mean, he also had Cub Swanson back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's just he's been up there for so long. But I actually, you guys are going like in this direction. You know what I mean? So
I don't disagree what your ranking do. You can like I say, he has good wins, but maybe 2 years without fight. But I respect that position too.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with which position I have, because I know I will win every fight I fight.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care about that. But like I say, I let Alex do these negotiations, and I always keep my mind on training and be healthy and learn.
All right, now I want to ask you something that I ask all of our in-studio guests. Can you share a good street fight story with us?
Street fight?
Yeah.
I have eu tenho algumas histórias.
I have some stories.
Okay.
Mas eu não sei nem. Uma vez.
Okay.
Talk in English. Let's try the English. One time.
I have many. I have a couple of street fights.
Okay.
But one is in college.
Okay.
Faculdade. E eu entrei na biblioteca.
Você
vai ter que traduzir para mim.
Yeah, I have to try. Okay, came into the library.
E eu entrei eu saí pela porta de entrada.
I came in through the exit door.
Eu saí pela porta de entrada. E nisso eu tinha que sair pela saída para ver se eu tinha pegado algum livro, entendeu?
And I had to do the other way around to get my books.
Because the secretary don't know if I take a book, mas eu não peguei o livro.
The secretary that's done like that in the library, so nobody swipes the book.
Right.
E aí eu saí da faculdade e fui andando pra rua.
And then I went out of the college going to the street.
E o segurança da biblioteca foi me seguindo até a rua e falando comigo.
And the security, the security officer from the university went after me and talking stuff to me.
E aí nisso eu passei na frente de uns comércios.
And I passed in front of some stores.
E o cara tava me seguindo, falando comigo. Aí eu virei pra trás e falei: "Porra, meu irmão, tu vai ficar me seguindo? Porra, que porra é essa?" Comecei a discutir com ele.
And he kept on after me, so I turned around and said, "What's the matter with you? You're going to keep on following me?"
E aí nessa, um cara que tava tinha uma loja mecânica assim, aí um dos mecânicos estava sentado e começou a rir.
And there I passed by a mechanic's office and one of the mechanics started laughing.
E quando ele começou a rir, eu olhei para ele e perguntei assim: "O que foi, velho? O que você tá rindo?"
And when he started laughing, I said, "What's the matter? What are you laughing at?"
You said it to the mechanic.
Yeah.
No more worry about security.
I'm discussing with the guy and I saw a guy laughing.
Yeah, okay.
And I say, "What you laughing?" And the guy e o cara levantou e já veio pra cima de mim.
And the guy got up and went after me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Já veio tentar me bater.
He tried to hit me.
Nessa que ele tentou me bater, eu peguei ele num single leg.
I took him down with a single leg.
Chão, botei o joelho na barriga e comecei a bater
Ground
nele.
And pound?
Yeah.
Só que eu tava nervoso por causa da briga de rua assim, e eu batia nele. E começava a falar com todo mundo que tava olhando na rua. Ele que começou.
I was nervous about the fight and I was beating him up, telling everybody he was the one who started. He started it.
Com o joelho na barriga dele batendo
with my knee on his belly and telling everybody else it was his fault, not mine.
E aí eu olhei pra ele tava todo machucado assim, aí ele olhou e falou assim: "Eu vou te matar."
And he was all beat up. He said, "I'm going to kill you."
Aí quando ele falou assim, eu
dei
mais
that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ele olhou pra mim assim e falou: "Eu te marquei sua cara, eu vou te matar." Aí eu peguei e dei outro socão nele assim.
He said, "I marked your face, I'm going to kill you." And I hit him again.
Aí eu bati nele com vontade esse último.
And I really hit him hard the last time.
Aí o pessoal na rua começou a falar: vai embora daqui que vão chamar a polícia, vai embora daqui. Aí eu saí correndo todo
I can do that part. And everybody in the neighborhood said, hurry up, the police are coming."
Yeah.
And so he left.
Can I ask a question?
Hey, my Portuguese is pretty good.
Did the security guard at that point say, "Okay, keep the book, I'm going"?
I never see the security more.
He leave?
When
run?
this time, I look for him and he. Oh.
That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah, and so.
What's with the mechanic?
Did you ever see the mechanic anymore?
No.
Never again.
Never again, because I dropped the college. Not for this, but I never see anymore. But every time I pass the car around this place, I'm looking for the mechanic, but never more. Yeah.
Wow,
this is Brazil. This is dangerous. In Brazil, it's dangerous. Yeah.
You hear what he said? He said it sounds like he beat the brakes off the mechanic. Nice one. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Tell me another one. You're a good storyteller, and you said you had stories plural. Tell him that, Alex.
Não.
You understand?
Eu entendi.
Okay.
Eu tenho vários, porque quando
Na praia tem?
Não, na praia não.
Okay.
Na praia
Yeah,
não.
hey, let's keep. You guys are losing your fans here. He says, I have a lot of them, but not on the beach. There's no beaches in Brasilia. Come on, man.
Beach in Brazil, but
okay.
Like you said,
well, we're in a desert. We have a beach at Mandalay Bay, technically. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Soccer, I always get trouble in soccer.
All right.
Because in soccer, the guys are competitive, and always, I never make friends in soccer, only enemies, you know.
Enemies, right.
So in the college,
university.
No college,
University.
no.
In school.
School. Always one good I remember.
Okay.
No primeiro dia de aula.
In the first day of school.
Foi o dia que eu conheci minha esposa também, na oitava
série.
série.
The day that I met my wife.
Oh.
Foi o primeiro dia
Eighth grade.
Foi o primeiro dia de colégio. Aí terminou a aula, a professora falou assim na última aula. Ela falou: "Não, agora vocês podem ficar conversando aí, vou deixar um horário livre para vocês."
So I'm going to let you guys. You can now. There's a free time where everybody can talk.
E aí eu peguei e comecei a fazer umas bolinhas e tacar na galera, né?
I started throwing paper balls on people.
Brincando. Aí
Playing
nessa
around.
eu fui tacar num amigo meu e pegou no outro cara.
And I threw a paper ball on my friend and it hit somebody else.
E aí nessa o cara veio querer encrencar comigo dentro da sala também,
And
né?
the guy had an issue with it.
Só que era um cara grande.
So it was a big guy.
E aí eu falei assim, velho, eu vou bater nele primeiro antes que ele me bata. Aí eu segurei na camisa dele e bati. Aí eu fiquei segurando a cabeça dele e batendo nele. Aí eu tomei um mês de suspensão no colégio.
So I said I better hit him before he hits me. So I grabbed his shirt and hit him, and I got suspended for a month.
Yeah.
For a month?
Yeah.
Wow, they're not messing around over there.
That's a long time.
Tem uma mais engraçada. Agora que você falou, eu lembrei de outra muito engraçada também.
I remembered another one, funny one.
Nesse tempo, eu comecei a treinar jiu-jitsu.
Hold on a second, though. Let's finish this one.
Yeah.
You threw the paper.
Yeah.
And he got mad at you.
Yeah.
But you do understand you started it, kind of, right?
É, mas eu não queria
But boys will
acertar
be
ele.
boys. Boys will
Mas
be
eu não
boys.
queria acertar ele.
But I didn't want to hit him.
Oh, I see.
Like I want to
hit my friend.
And você tava atrás dele.
But he was behind you.
Só que ele não veio. Eu pedi desculpa, mas
I said sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
But the first day, you know, they try to.
And your wife was there?
Yeah.
What was she doing? Watching?
No.
She fell in love with him.
She went, wow, Renato can fight. I like you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You know her since 8th grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a long time. How old are you now?
29.
29. So you've known her, what, about 16 years? Or is that you met her in 8th grade or even younger?
No. O que ele falou?
Se você conhece
Na oitava série.
Yeah, for 16 years. That's it.
Oh, cool.
Agora, você falou da história da briga, deixa eu te contar, essa é a mais engraçada.
This is the funniest one.
Eu tinha começado a treinar jiu-jitsu.
I'd already started training jiu-jitsu.
E eu tava indo, e esse meu outro amigo, ele era todo metido a brigar na rua.
And I had a friend that loved to fight on the street.
Okay, hold on. Try in English. Try it.
Yeah.
But to remember and say is difficult, but I will try.
Okay, you try.
And we go into the school to the bus.
Okay.
And you walk a little, and I say, I start to train, and he say, this don't work.
Jiu-jitsu doesn't work.
This don't work. I can beat you, and I say, you wanna try?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, I wanna try. He take the backpack and do this, and I give a punch.
He tried to punch you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I take him down.
Single leg.
Go to the back like always I do. Put the
rear naked choke?
The rear naked choke, but I put this and start to punch him. And now this will work, but every time I fight in street, I get eu fico nervoso.
He gets nervous.
E eu ficava gritando.
For the police or for other people?
No, for him.
Oh.
Like nervous and screaming. And now. É pra mim parar? Posso
You want me
parar?
to stop now?
E aí ele mandou a gente parar, a gente continuou e foi andando junto de novo pro...
Yeah, and so we stopped and just kept on walking together.
Oh, he was cool.
Yeah,
That was a big mistake for that
cool,
other guy,
yeah.
huh?
Did he say, "Oh, jiu-jitsu works"?
Yeah. Now jiu-jitsu works.
Is he your friend still?
No
more.
No.
All these people you, when you were younger, and you went to jiu-jitsu, and they thought you were maybe wasting your time, do they now watch you? Are they now your fans?
No, because in Brazil everybody training. So, por que eu fui treinar?
Why did I go to train?
Porque todo o pessoal da minha rua treinava.
Because everybody in my street trained.
E todo mundo tinha esse negócio de briga de rua.
Everybody
É
wanted
muito
to fight in
comum
the
no
streets.
Brasil.
It was very common.
É muito comum. Então, tipo assim, todos os amigos que eu tenho até hoje são faixa preta, assim, de
All
jiu-jitsu.
my friends are black belts.
Então, tipo, a maioria se realiza em mim, porque alguns têm emprego normal, mas vê tipo em mim uma coisa que eles não fizeram.
A lot of them look at me and they're inspired for me because they can see in me something that they didn't manage to do.
Mas em Brasília, especificamente, a gente tem muito problema com briga, por isso que eu acho que a arte marcial é uma boa forma de tirar essa galera.
But in Brasilia, where I come from, we have a lot of problems with fights, and I think that martial arts is a good way to solve that.
You saw there are many guys from Brasilia. He is in UFC in the glory, like Guto Inocente. Do you know Guto Inocente?
Yeah.
He always in street fights to always to see Guto kicking many people's ass, you know. So Brasilia have this fighting culture. So I want martial arts is a good thing to people don't
get into fights.
Like Adriano is the same. Adriano from One UFC. Eu vi ele muito de vezes batendo em monte de gente.
Beating a lot of people too.
In the rua?
Yeah.
So now when you run across old friends and you tell them this is what I do they go, okay, that makes sense? Or are they like, really?
Todo mundo fala assim que eu me encontrei também na profissão certa.
Everybody says, I hear that in my hometown too. Everybody says that he found the right business. I hear that in my hometown. They said when fighting started turning to a profession, you find your right business.
We never get that. Everybody always says, we thought you would be supermodels. Didn't work out.
All right. Your performance bonuses that you get, were you able to ever treat yourself to something nice for you and your family, or did it go in the bank? Did you reinvest it in your career?
I don't like to spend money because, like I always say when the people ask me about money, I say my money is very hard to get because I get punched to get money. So I really
good explanation.
He waves with a closed hand.
I really don't like to spend money because I want to buy my house. You know, I want to have solid things before after I retire.
Or you like USA?
I don't know yet. I like USA, but to me is the people say is not que não é caro viver aqui.
It's not expensive to live here.
But I think it's expensive if you change se você mudar a moeda.
If you change the currency rates.
Para mim, to me is very difficult because in $1. 4 here.
4 reais.
It's up to almost 4 to 1.
Yeah, almost 5.
1, yeah.
Almost 5. So like you say, 50,000 here, 50,000 in Brazil, like half a million,
yeah.
like a half a million. You know.
Yeah.
So it's half a million of reais. So I don't know yet, but I'm here. Eu vou estar aqui até minha carreira, né?
I'm going to finish my career here.
Porque é o melhor lugar para treinar de longe.
It's the best place
Depois que eu comecei a treinar na América Top Team, que eu vi que é treinamento de verdade.
And when I started training America Top Team, I found out what training really was.
Em Brasília, eu acho que a gente teve tantos lutadores bons, a gente é uma academia pequena, como eu te falei.
In Brasília, we're a small school, but we produced a lot of good fighters.
A gente teve 4 lutadores no UFC, que é uma coisa que eu acho que é muito difícil de qualquer lugar do mundo.
4 fighters in the UFC, which is hard for any place in the world.
Numa academia com 15 atletas.
With 15 athletes in the school.
Então eu acho que isso se deve muito a esse ambiente de Brasília de sempre ter luta.
I think it's a lot to do with the atmosphere in Brasília where we're always fighting.
All right, let's have a little fun here. I'm going to say the name of a fighter or somebody in MMA, and you give me 1 or 2 words that describe them.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try.
Dustin Poirier.
Talent guy.
Talent guy.
Yeah.
Alex Davis.
Big friend.
Conor McGregor.
Big mouth.
Dana White.
The guy.
The guy?
The guy who made this. The guy who make a fight, fazer a luta, tantas milhões de pessoas viverem da luta.
He made so many millions of people be able to survive off fighting.
A luta depois do UFC não é considerada mais um esporte, não é considerada mais hobby, é uma profissão.
And now after the UFC, fighting is not only a sport or a hobby, it's a profession.
E a gente and we athletes have so much to thank Dana White to made Fertitas buy the UFC and become this phenomenal empresa.
Yeah, and we have so much to thank Dana White for having the Fertitas to buy the UFC and turning into this great company.
Daniel Cormier.
Champ. Two-time champ. He's like a role model, I think. You know, never give up. Always don't matter what the difficult, don't matter the opponent, and he always win.
Can I reverse it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the descriptive word, and you tell me the fighter that it is.
Okay.
Natural talent.
I think Renato Moicano.
Nice. All right. How about?
Eu não quero soar desrespeitoso nem
I don't want to
metido,
be disrespectful or arrogant.
mas eu nunca vi alguém que aprendia rápido que nem eu.
But I've never found somebody that can learn as fast as I can.
Best leg kicks.
José Aldo.
Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
Best jiu-jitsu.
This is difficult. We have a lot. The best jiu-jitsu I train, Hani Arya is my coach and training partner. Best jiu-jitsu accomplished in UFC, maybe Damian Maia. But Hani Arya is a DCC champion too. And Jacaré, I think he is more adaptive. But yeah, Jacaré, he adapted very well the jiu-jitsu from MMA for striking. But I have to say Ortega too. Ortega is a very good jiu-jitsu because the people don't do more what he do. He is close guard. He do close guard, triangle. He is very difficult.
Elbows from
elbows.
underneath.
But I will say Damian Maia.
Most inspirational.
If Ortega win the belt, Ortega. But now Damian Maia.
Most inspirational.
It's difficult. Bruce Lee, I think.
Bruce Lee?
Fighter Bruce Lee.
You got any, George?
Where I use the description?
Or the other way around.
Did you say most athletic? You said most athletic to him? Most athletic.
John Jones.
Most controversial.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Most exciting.
They have a many. I like to let me think. Man, in the past I like to watch Paul Daly. Do you know Paul Daly?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think he's a Bellator now.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz. They have so many fights I want to watch. In the past, Johnny Hendricks. I like the Rory McDonald. I like Rob Lawler, but let me see. O que ele falou mesmo, a palavra?
Qual o mais excitante?
Maybe Conor McGregor because all the
hype that he
the
brings.
hype, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I really want to see that fight. Like I really want to see to saw he in Mayweather. You know, I think he too
built
much
it up.
promotion, too much, and you want to watch. You know.
Best hook.
Let me see.
Best
Right or left?
Both.
Left. Maybe John Hendricks in the prime.
Yeah.
And right.
Which one?
And right. Let me see. Maybe Cigano. He has a good. I don't know if hook, but overhand. Yeah, good overhand.
Best jab.
I think it's me.
Yeah.
The last fight I drop in the jab, and it's a fundament I work a lot. I don't really see too many guys doing jab correctly in MMA, because they like to trade punches, but I like to do like a boxing, boxing match. Jab to control, jab to hurt. I think it's a phenomenal weapon. Jab.
Worst Brazilian mechanic. No, I'm just kidding.
There's two guys I like at American Top Team. Are they your friends? One of them is Jorge Masvidal. You like him? You train with him?
No, because I don't see him much. Now he's doing a show,
Okay.
I think. I see his couple times, but I never talk with him.
King Mo?
King Mo is a good guy. He's always...
Is he doing okay?
Yeah. Always,
Smart.
Yeah, always fazendo brincadeira assim com todo mundo.
Always joking, always having fun, yeah.
That's cool.
That's
All right.
a good guy.
We got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM's Fight Nation Channel 83. Stay close. We'll be right back. We have Alex Davis and Renato Moicano in studio here with us. Yeah. Here we go.
They were forged from the same ball sack, but act as though they've never met. They are the brothers Garcia, Gorgeous George and Goes.
You like this song, Renato? You like this song?
Yeah, I don't know the song, but I like.
Express yourself. NWA, right, guys? Yeah.
Wait. There's different people do different
Oh,
versions.
turn this one up, Danny. That's a good walkout
This
song.
is the
I think.
original. This isn't the
Yeah.
NWA one. This is the actual original.
It's a good song. And
You like hip hop?
Yeah, but I like more reggae.
Reggae?
Yeah.
Bob Marley, that type
Yeah,
of stuff.
Bob Marley, but I like Edson Gomes from Brazil and some stuff from Brazil who represent, but I really like reggae.
Do you like Bob Marley, The Beach, Caipirinha?
It's good, but we can't, you know?
Yeah.
We
Hey,
have training.
has anyone ever told you you look a little bit, just a little bit like Crow Cop?
Crow Cop?
Yeah.
No.
Look at him, Goose.
If they put
Look at the hair and look at the
a
face.
little, I know what he's talking about.
Right?
A dehydrated Crow Cop, okay?
Well,
Very,
no,
very, very
you're skinny
dehydrated.
version of,
Yeah,
of
Crow
Crow
Cop.
Cop. Yeah.
Yeah, me. I want to have his leg kick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Se eu tiver o chute dele tá bom.
If I can have his leg kick, I'll take it.
You'll take it?
Have you thought of our nickname yet?
Not yet. I forget about that. Like,
Quick, come on. Start with Dan.
in Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japa.
Japa. Okay.
Do you know what is Japa is?
I have a feeling.
Short for Japanese.
Yeah, in Brazil, if the guy is
he's a little bit Japanese,
Japanese,
Hawaiian,
yeah,
Hawaiian too. Yeah.
they say Japa. Pensa num pra ele aí.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying.
Fala aí.
Well, he asked you how to say stud in
Well,
English.
I was going to call him Gordinho, so I don't know what. Baixinho and Gordinho.
What's baixinho?
What's baixinho?
Bajo?
Shorty and fatty.
Shorty and
All right, all right. You agree?
Yeah.
We wanted something cool like jacare. You know, people when I walk in the room, people are
But that
just gonna
takes
go,
more time.
Yeah, how come you didn't say oso,
Just a
poderoso,
second.
or
Just a
something like that?
second. Listen, nicknaming people is a science. It takes more time. Than
Shoe
that,
face?
You know? Well,
Shoe
fucking
face.
how
like that?
long?
But it's the
I've
best
never looked
nickname.
at someone's face and go, that looks like a
Man,
shoe.
Look the face of shoe face and you see.
Maybe. But that seemed like lazy. That looked like if I were to go, laptop face.
Laptop face.
And your
Yeah.
desk face.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Renato Moicano is in our studio. He's 13-1-1 overall. He is 5-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a big win over Cub Swanson at UFC 227. That was on the heels of a win over Calvin Kattar. His only loss was last year in a very, very competitive fight against Brian Ortega at UFC 214. And then prior to that, he had fought 12 times, remained undefeated with a record of 11-0-1. His only draw was Felipe Froes back in 2012. So you've had quite a career. And I noticed this name right here. He was here in our studio yesterday, Alexander Almeida.
Yeah.
He fights for PFL.
PFL
He was here yesterday.
He's
Good guy.
He's a good guy.
He has a nickname. It's called the Captain.
Well, he looks kind of like Wolverine, like a Wolverine a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
Why is he captain?
I don't know. I think it's because of boat driving in the Amazon.
Yeah, he's from the jungles as well.
Amazon from Manaus.
Manaus, that's right.
Was my first fight and he already BJJ champion, but was a good fight.
How much you get paid for that fight? Tell the truth.
Mm,
It was Jungle Fight 18.
I think
$2,000.
R$1,000.
I think
$300.
$300?
Something like that.
Wow.
$300, né? Falei.
yeah,
Times have
right.
changed, huh?
Yeah, changing a lot. And now the MMA in Brazil is better than this time. Now the people pay the athletes with tickets, and you have to sell the tickets to make your money. you
Really?
know? Yeah.
Is Jungle Fight still around?
Not really.
Not
No.
really. Yeah.
I see a lot of Shudo. Is that
Yeah.
Pedinaris?
Yeah.
Right? He does that, Shudo Brazil.
Yeah. And
Is there a lot of other promotions? or
small
no?
organizations only from regional, you know, only small things. One time, 2 times I made a show to my friends fight in Brasilia. They call fist fight, and was good. And I put some fights to help my friends to train and compete. But it's not good.
Sure.
The ticket selling thing is probably going to be one of the solutions to MMA because it's important. It's just part of it. You know, what's happening in the smaller events is that they're not sustainable, you know, and the guy to pay the fighter's purses, he just can't manage it. So probably you're going to see that happen more and more and more and more, that the fighters have to take up clumps of tickets to sell it themselves. I didn't like that in the beginning, but now I start to realize that that is probably going to be part of the sustainability of the sport.
Mm-hmm. How can we make the sport so popular that thousands come to see it? Flamingo can lose their first 4 games and they'll still have 80,000 at the next game. How do you build up a passion for the sport where people are still pay for?
Well, let's put it this way. Did you know that there was a boxing match in the 1920s in New Jersey that had 80,000 people at it, and there was no Facebook and no radio, and it was Jack Dempsey versus Carpentier. It was in a pasture in New Jersey, and there was no. It was the biggest or the first sports
event.
Say
it was promoted well.
It was promoted well. Now think about that.
Did you have a good view?
I've seen the pictures, but the thing is, the thing is what's significant in that fact is that was 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we think that boxing did that 100 years ago, how much more do we have to do? How much, we've only been here for 22, 23 years,
That's interesting. Think about how hard it was to get to events.
They didn't think about it. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have internet. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have Twitter. And they filled an event with 80,000 people in the 1920s in New Jersey. Another interesting part of that is that prize fighting was forbidden in New York. Doesn't that sound similar? That sound familiar, huh?
Yeah. Renato, you want to say something?
O que eu ia dizer também é que a gente fica pensando nessa coisa da tecnologia que não tinha como eles fizeram, mas você tem que pensar que também não tinha tantas distrações, então uma luta dessa era uma coisa muito grande.
Yeah, what he's saying, and you could have said that in English, by the way, he's saying that you didn't have all these social media things, but you also didn't have as many alternative forms of entertainment, which is correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm very proud of him. Man.
Couple matchups here to announce. Michael Chiesa will be facing Carlos Condit at UFC 232. There's also possible rumors now of John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson at UFC 232 as well.
Or Joel Romero.
Yeah, well, I think Romero and Gustafsson was being talked about, and now it may not happen. Maybe you know something we don't. I don't know.
I was just thinking it kind of odd because of Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Guys, let's do this quick question that we do every day. It's called the Daily Debate. You guys cool with that over here on this end? All right.
Let's do it.
So I'll say it slow. I think I briefed Renato during the commercial, so he knows where I'm headed with this. And Alex, I think you'll figure it out. The question of the day is, with Bellator 206 offering plenty of intrigue, which fight storyline intrigues you the most? Your choices are champion versus champion, legends with bad blood, welterweight Grand Prix opener, or super prospects big test. But I also want to just go over this one more time and kind of tell you what we mean by each answer. Champion versus champion is obviously Gegard Mousasi versus Roy McDonald. Roy McDonald's challenging Gegard Mousasi for the middleweight title. Legends with bad blood is the co-main event, Quinton Rampage Jackson with Vanderlei Silva. They do not like each other. The welterweight Grand Prix opener is the welterweight Grand Prix. I mean, we love Grand Prix, and Bellator has one with probably their deepest division welterweight, and it includes Douglas Lima versus Andrei Korshkov, 2 former Bellator welterweight champions. And then lastly, the super prospect they're talking about, obviously, is Aaron Pico, stepping it up facing James Terry. All right, goes, which fight intrigues you the most for Bellator 206? I beg your pardon, it's Leandro Higo's his opponent, not James Terry.
Well, the Pico fight, we've seen Pico fight before, and we're going to see plenty more of those. Legends fight, I feel like we're already at a finality with that because one guy's got 2 wins, the other guy's got 1 win. So there's not really much to prove there. And then the Grand Prix opener is a match that we've already seen. So I'm going to go champ versus champ. We don't get to see that very often.
Wow, you broke it down pretty good. I think I agree. I want to see champion versus champion. And those are 2 great fighters, man. Mousasi and McDonald had some success in the UFC before they signed as free agents in Bellator. So they've proven that they can fight. And hell, Mousasi goes all the way back to Pride and M1 and Dream. I can list his accomplishments, and he's done a lot. So, yeah. Even though I love bad blood fights like Rampage and Vanderlei, and I'll be tuning in, Champion versus champion. How about you? Which one do you like, Renato?
I think Bad Blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they have like you say, one have two, other have one, but pro Vanderlei é tudo ou nada, né? Que se ele perder mais
Vanderlei, it's everything or nothing.
Because if you lost 3 times for a guy, it's not a good thing. So I think he will put too much in that fight, and eles estão num lugar parecido na carreira.
They're at a similar spot in their careers.
Então acho que tudo isso faz ser uma luta interessante.
I think all that makes it for an interesting fight.
O Vanderlei querer provar que
English.
Não, mas fala em português que esse aí eu não estou sabendo. Que o Vanderlei querer provar que aquelas 2 derrotas ali não apagaram ele, e é difícil um cara lutar 3 vezes com o mesmo cara, né?
Vanderlei wants to prove that his last 2 defeats didn't erase him,
okay.
And it's hard for somebody to.
And you'll be rooting for Vanderlei.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Alex Davis?
I loved the Musashi versus McDonald fight. I think that's everything. That has everything that a fight fan and anybody that understands fighting, and anybody that doesn't understand fighting is going to get out of that. I think that's an awesome fight.
All right, there you have it. There's our daily debate brought to you by Alex Davis, MMA manager, Renato Moicano, one of the top featherweights in the UFC, and, of course, us 2 knuckleheads over here. Dan, Tom, how about you? Who did you like? What was your choice? You can go ahead and yell it out real fast. Champion versus champion. Yeah, it's still a great card, though, man. They have a lot. They hit a lot of check marks, but great job. Bellator 206 will be tuning in on Saturday. The fans agreed. 72% said champion versus champion. 13% agreed with Renato, legends with bad blood. And then the other 2, welterweight Grand Prix, and, of course, Pico fans supported them as well. That went 9% and 6%. 566 votes came in. We got to take our last break, and then we are done with the show. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Fight Nation Channel 93, and we've had Renato Moicano here co-hosting with us, as well as Alex Davis. Stay close. Just a couple minutes left. We'll talk to Kevin in Chicago. What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? I was just wondering if you talked about that story with Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
No,
we haven't really dove into
Yesterday we talked a lot of PFL, and then today we've been having fun here with Renato. We haven't talked about it. I read about Victor Ortiz and Al Hassan. You know, all the allegations that came forward. So unfortunate if this is true, and you know, when you get into arrests and things like that,
you gotta let it play out a little bit.
Well, yeah, you do have to let it play out, but obviously there can be one thing can be an allegation and accusations and things like that. But once arrests start getting made, you just start to think, wow, you know. But first reaction, obviously, extremely disappointed, but yeah, I don't know all the facts.
He got indicted. I'm pretty sure he got indicted.
Okay, then that's not good.
Yeah, I heard whenever that Donnie Aaron dude got a tattoo, he had some tattoos on his arm. Everyone went crazy. But this dude's getting indicted on rape charges and it's getting brushed under the rug. Ariel Helwani's not reporting on it. I feel like only a few MMA journalists are reporting on it. This should be main page news all day. But
well, I know we put something up on Junkie, and trust me, we have a guy named Steven Morocco who's really good at the follow-up. You know, what comes next, court dates, things like that, the other side. So he'll chase that type of stuff down. And you know what? The other day we had Steven Morocco talk about PEDs, and we'll bring him back probably on tomorrow's show. I'm going to see if I can make a run at him so that he can bring us up to speed on that.
Because you saw who's managing him. You saw that.
Who is his manager? I really don't know.
Ali Abaziz.
Oh,
same guy called out a couple days ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, not surprised, but that's the world we live in with MMA. A lot of shady characters.
Yeah. All right, my man.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, take care. We'll see you. All right. Renato, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us and co-hosting. And I don't know how long you're in town. Are you staying for Khabib and McGregor?
No.
Okay. Why'd you come to Vegas?
Oh, we have meetings.
Well, like Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah, Alcoholic Anonymous.
Are you guys sexual predators? So negotiations, new contract?
Yeah, no, not really. Just I think that he's going to be. I have a conviction that he's going to be one of the new champions, and I want to already, make him comfortable. It's just what we do as a manager.
Is he a free agent though, or no?
No, he's not a free agent.
Okay, just meeting with the bosses and seeing what direction. Are you going to do the Performance Institute? Are you going to train at all?
Yeah, he hasn't been there yet.
Oh, okay.
This is Disneyland for fighters.
Yeah.
You'll like it. How long are you in town?
We're here till tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, when they quiet down like that, negotiation.
No. We don't have anything to negotiate. Really, it's just I mean, did you guys know who Renato was before I brought him here?
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, but not really. Did you hear?
No, we got to learn a lot more
that's
about
what I
him.
mean.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's what I mean. So it's all about. It's not only about the fighting, but it's also about the persona. I love him. He's a great kid, and I want I want everybody to be aware of what a great kid this kid is. And that's my job, to make the world know who he is.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had a really, really great time with him, and I hope you get the fights that you want. And he told us, you weren't here, he told us when he wins the belt, he's coming back to the MMA Junkie Radio studio with the belt. So thank you, sir. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me here. I say again, sorry about my English. The next time I be here, my English will be perfect.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Alex, for looking out for us. This was a lot of fun.
I love you guys.
I love you too, buddy.
I feel like this is my home.
Awesome, man. And that's your seat anytime you want, and your guys and gals are welcomed anytime as well.
Cool.
All right, tomorrow we're rebooking Andre Harrison from yesterday's show to tomorrow. Goes will be on vacation for a couple days, so Dan and I will hold down the fort, and keep it locked all week for Bellator 206, and of course next week's UFC 229. All right, for Danny Beckis and Dan and Goes, myself, Renato, and Alex, go out there and be a champion, Junkie Nation.
Wouldn't sleep a minute away. Oh,